Like take, for example, one of the most successful industrial commercial installations in Spain, quite big, in fact, Mondragon. It's a big collection of industrial works, schools, social systems, health systems, and so on. Very substantial, very successful. It's one of the few parts of the Spanish economy that's competitive internationally, even after joining European Union. It's worker-owned, and it's partially socialist anarchist. It's worker-owned, but manager-controlled. Workers pick the managers, but they theoretically at least control the managers. How much they control them, you can debate. But there's no outside investors telling them what to do. They have their own banks, their own development banks, they have their own social services, and so on. And it's been dramatically successful. Well, okay, that's pieces of a more free and democratic society. Pieces only, because workers are not really participating directly. They're still picking somebody to tell them what to do, at least they're picking them, and they have the authority, ultimately, which in principle they could use. Well, okay, that's a piece of a democratic society. And you find pieces of democratic societies all over the place. Very often in periods of revolution, very democratic societies emerge fast and spontaneously and similarly, like workers' councils to control industry. They come up all the time. I mean, they come up after the Bolshevik Revolution. They were immediately crushed by, actually before the Bolshevik Revolution, they developed and they were immediately crushed by Lenin and Trotsky. In Italy at the same time, they developed, after the Hungarian Revolution, they developed. In Spain, they not only developed but flourished. In fact, these things have happened over and over again spontaneously. The reason is it's unnatural. You don't have to read big books to think that the workers in the plant ought to get together and run it. In fact, you go back to 19th century America, the mill towns around here, the workers were saying, factory girls, as they called them, young women from the farms, or local craftsmen, the mills ought to be run by the workers who are owned and run by the workers in them. That's just natural. That's like saying that people should vote their own representatives in Congress. Well, okay, those natural ideas are crushed, but there's no reason why they can't be realized and implemented.